Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. I'm going to be showing you the 14 or so books that I am struggling to color in, and I wanted to show you why I think I'm struggling to color in them. Some of it may be due to time, others it might be due to the nature of the book. So I'm going to push my books over to one side and we're going to get started and have a look. So I'm going to start with some of the smaller books. First up we have Escape to Wonderland, illustrated by Good Wives and Warriors. Now I got this book because I saw Coloring with Elena using it. She was able to use a whole lot of medium, especially watercolor, and one of my coloring goals this year has been to improve with watercolor skills, whether it's watercolor paints or watercolor pencils. So I bought this book to help me, and I do like the Escape series, but I haven't done anything in this book, and I don't actually know why. There's really no reason for me to struggle. Some of these some of the pages I don't like, others I do like, and I think it's partly the doodles. I don't know how to color those. I'm not very good at coloring them, and I think the other reason has been I haven't just felt in the mood to color them. So like something like this, I want to color a nice beautiful tin, maybe put some green or brown, maybe like a rusted tin, and then green or so writing. And it's not difficult. It's really not difficult, but for some reason I am really just not in the mood for this book, so I haven't started with it, and I don't know why. So that is Escape to Wonderland, a coloring book adventure. Really nice coloring book, great paper, but again I don't have time, I'm not feeling in the mood, so it remains untouched. Next up is Flowerscape in Paradise by Maggie Interios. I'm just going to zoom you out a bit more. I've picked up this book a few times to look through it and see, you know, which one do I want to color in. I've scanned the QR codes and looked at the color combinations, and then subsequently closed the book and put it back on the shelf. So I think I'm just intimidated by the beautiful designs, the fact that they are well illustrated, and then I want to do them justice by coloring in them well. So I get overwhelmed and I just put the book away. So beautiful artwork. I want to color in it. I'm struggling to get to that point of picking up a pencil, sitting down and coloring in. But everything about this book is exquisite and I want to. They're beautiful. I love it. And then I clam up. And the same can be said but for Enchanted Earth by Melpomene Chatsipana Gyotu. I really want to color this page. I love this page. I've seen so many beautiful versions of these artworks, and when I come to trying to even start coloring, I'm overwhelmed by the details and the beauty and the cleverness of some of the pages that I then don't color it in at all. So I'm hoping it will come. I have found some coloring books need to actually sit on my shelf for a while, and by a while I mean over a year. And then when I'm ready and I start, I just absolutely love them. I had a similar experience with Mythographic Paradise. Started it, struggled, put it away, didn't touch it for about a year, picked it up, and then I just fell in love with the book. So that is Enchanted Earth by Melpomene Chatsipana Gyotu. I apologize if I mispronounce the name. Fairy Touch of Magic, Clara Markova. I have 2 Clara Markova books. Both I bought secondhand. I both love the artwork. I'm going to show you the artwork in Fairy Touch of Magic because Magical Delights has got some illustrations colored in by the previous owner, and I don't know, and I think the previous owner got it from somebody else, so I don't know who actually colored the pages, and I don't want to take credit for their work. But the same situation applies to both books. I absolutely love Clara artwork. It is phenomenal. I want to color pretty much every single page. I've actually reached the point where I think I want to own all of her books. So as they come up on the second-hand market, I will try and get them, even if it takes me years. But yeah, so if I show you in Fairy Touch of Magic, I absolutely love the artwork. It's exquisite, it's whimsical, it's beautiful, it's innocent. And I could sit and go, oh, I want to color that page. And I want to color this page. And I love this page. And then I just don't, I start and then I don't come back. And there's no reason other than, I think, just time. I need time, lots of time, because I take my time in her books. I don't rush myself. I just enjoy. I see, like, I want to do this for summer because we've been having ice cream and it's summer and it's glorious and wonderful. But then my mood overrides me and I'll decide I'm in the mood for something else, and then I go in there and yeah, so I think it's just time. I don't have the time to do her justice, and I really, really want to. These are by far my favorite. And next up is April, a Forest Girls coloring book. And I have some WIPs. If you want to see an update of my WIPs, I will link it up here in the right-hand corner. So I love the designs. I love the stories. I think when I try and copy, this picture is really small, so I find it quite difficult. And I don't actually want to, I don't know how to put my own take on it. So I think the copying the artwork is where I'm coming undone, because it's so small I can't quite see all the nuances in it, and I want to do it well. Other times it will be because the well, this one is quite simple, but some of them where there's, like here, you've got all this lighting, I really need to take time to see. So staring at something so small, it does make it hard for me to then interpret it onto a bigger page. I'm also struggling to find pencils that work in this book. So watercolor does work well. Neocolor 2s did work well. I don't like Prismacolor on this paper. I'm struggling with Prismas. So I need to find the right pencils. And I'm hoping if I find the right pencils for this book, I will then be able to color in it a lot more. So that is April's Forest Girls coloring book. Then we have Ken Matsuda coloring book, and I absolutely love his artwork. They're just phenomenal and amazing. But when I try and copy his work, I get stuck and overwhelmed. So I don't carry on. And maybe that's the lesson. Maybe the lesson isn't to try and do it like Ken Matsuda. Maybe the lesson is to try and do it like I would. So yeah. Really, really beautiful. I want to try it with Inktense as a base and see how that works. So, but again, I pick it up, I start, I try copy, and then I clam up and I go away. So I think my biggest takeaway with this is that I need to stop trying to be somebody else and just be me. And maybe that's the reason why Ken Matsuda and April are so difficult for me. It's because I'm trying to do what they do so I can learn, but in the process maybe I'm not being true to my style. I'm not sure. Let me know your thoughts. Then we have Mama Girls, A Girl with Music. Now, I don't like all of these illustrations. Some of them I do like, some of them are just, they're not my style. I think this is Korean. And I think I also don't understand the Korean culture. So, like, I like this one. I want to color this one. I also like this one. Even this one. I also feel my coloring skills are not at this level. So I'm kind of shelving it in the hopes of a time when I'm actually more, dare I say it, professional in how I color. I feel like I'm putting far too much pressure on myself. So there are a lot of pictures in here I will color and I do want to color. And there are some that are just too dark for me. And then you've got her designs and various ways of coloring it. And then I look in the background and I think I should do that. And then I get overwhelmed because I don't know how to make sure my proportions are correct. So in the end, I end up closing the book and putting it away. So again, very, very beautiful artwork. I'm doubting myself. I'm overwhelmed. And I don't know how to approach this. So it stays on my shelf, hardly touched. Drummond Wanger by Thomas Love Tomic has a little bit more luck than some of the other books I've been showing you. Here I have got 3 whips in here already. And I find the more I'm working with the book, the more I'm figuring my way around. But the amount of detail is what slows me down. And in the process of slowing down so much, I then stop to do something else and then I don't come back. And I think that's part of the problem, is it's beautiful work and very detailed. So I'm getting caught up in the details. But I can see myself finishing every single one of these pages. And I think I will color more in here once I've worked out how to do it. So that is Drummond Wanger by Thomas Love Tomic. And I'm crazy enough to want to get the other book. Then we have Anastasia Eli Kolderiva, Mysteria. Now the same reasons for Mysteria apply to Amarantine. I love Anastasia Eli Kolderiva's work. I think she's amazing. But I find that the pages don't lend itself to a watercolor paint very well, or even watercolor pencils. So if I use Inktense, for example, I need to probably work quicker and with more pigment and less water. Besides the paper, which is really great for pencils, the size of the book is very big, and because I'm a slow colorist, I'm not getting through the picture quick enough to get done by the time my interest has moved on. It takes me a really long time. I love this picture. I love her designs, love her artwork, want to color them in all. I don't have enough time. The picture is almost too big for the way I color at this point in time. But I'm hoping as I get used to coloring more and accepting my style and figuring out my artistic style, that it will help me approach these books better. Then I have the official Game of Thrones coloring book by George R.R. Martin, and I have the HBO Games of Thrones coloring book, which has inspired me to read the books and watch the series. But let me zoom you out so you can see better. This is quite a big book. I want to do the pictures justice, especially this book. So this book, these are based on the series. So it's the actual actors and actresses. And like this is Arya. So I want to get the right photo and I want to copy it and make it really, really spectacular. And this is, you know, Tyrion after he'd had the incident with the war, and right now he's my favorite character. So because of just how magnificent the story is and the illustrations, and again, I don't know how to approach these landscapes. I feel like my coloring style wants to be there, but it's not there yet. So I'd probably start first with the portraits and then work my way from there. But right now I'm very overwhelmed and unsure of how to even get started. So I want to do the books justice. I think I'm more likely to start in this Game of Thrones book. It's smaller. I've got the text here that I can refer to, which is why I also went and bought the book. So I've got a reference and I can look it up. So I feel these are easier for me to color in than the other book. And I also have a reference point now in my mind because I've been watching the series. So I just haven't started. I haven't started in here yet, which is, again, time. Right now my interest has been in my other books. I have so many books, even though I've only got one shelf. I've got enough books that I can't color them all in and do them all justice all at the same time regularly. Then in Country Gardens, I have got webs, but I haven't completed anything. This is by Teresa Goodrich. And I think I just don't know how to approach the flowers. I can do leaves. My biggest thing is the flowers. I don't know what flowers are what. I don't know how to color them in, and I'm just totally lost. So that is why this book doesn't get colored in, because I'm just not sure how to do it. And I'm not sure how to shape the flowers so that they look believable and pretty. It might be that I need to find someone who's colored some of these pages in and then go and follow their color along and actually get my head around it. So I need to pick something that's really floral, maybe it's something like this, and then go and copy the way they do it, or even just watch it. So it's the flowers that are preventing me from getting into this book. Then as far as Eerie goes, I'm struggling with Romantic Country, the second tale. I've recently had a breakthrough in the first tale, and I do really love her books. I think I'm comparing myself too much to other people and how beautifully they've done their colorings in here. I think when it comes to Eerie, I have doubt. I'm not sure where to start. So finding a starting point in this book has been really difficult for me. So what I've decided to do is leave the second tale and focus on the first tale because I'm having breakthrough there. As I color more in the first tale and figure my way around, I'm hoping it will transfer into the second tale. So that is Romantic Country by Eerie. And then finally is Mythographic Voyage by Joseph Kattenbang. Now, every single page in here I absolutely love. And I am planning to do this page as a live stream video if it hasn't already started by the time you are watching this. So every page in here is beautiful. I love every page. They're really beautifully done. And I have started a page in here, but I think I'm finding the details are a bit tricky. And it may also be that I started with a very difficult page instead of finding one that is a little bit more easy. So I think with this book, I've just started on the wrong page. So I think I've just picked a really hard page to start off with, and I'm not sure how to move forward. So everyone, thank you. That is Mythographic Voyage. These are the 14 or so books that I want to color in, but am struggling to color in for the various reasons I have been able to express. Let me know your thoughts. Are there books that you struggle in? How do you overcome coloring blocks? Or how do you get started coloring in books that you're struggling to color in? Let me know in the comments. As always, do like, subscribe, and please do share your thoughts. I love hearing from you. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you and I value you, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Until next time, everyone, take care. Bye for now.